Welcome back, everybody, to the Lucky Underdogs podcast. It's your boy CJ Prosise.
And it's your boy Corey Holmes, and we back for another banger. Yes,
You
sir.
already
Yes, sir.
know. We already know. The Underdogs podcast. We're gonna highlight the guys who don't always get the reps, don't always get the media attention. But when they do get their time to shine, they make the most out of it. So we back today. We discussing ND as always.
Yeah, yeah.
I got the pleasure to be in South Bend right now, kind of checking out, it's practice, pro day, the coaching staff, he's kind of the whole environment around the building. Got a chance to kind of walk around and see what's going on, the vibe through the building. And man, I gotta say, man,
what underdog? You seen some underdogs out there? You got some potential guys that's gonna hop on our radar that we might not know about. I don't know what you seeing out there.
It's some guys, man. It's a lot of it's a lot of young guys. I think today they didn't have pads on today, so it didn't really get too much. It kind of got just kind of got to see guys run on air, but you got to see like a lot of young guys get out there and do their thing. Obviously the running back room for me, I've been following them a lot. All those young guys, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, and Payne. I don't know how to say it. GB's number 3, but he number 3. But those guys. I mean, you can tell the year experience they had this past season. You're really gonna take them projectile them into the next season, man. You can tell just the momentum they coming out running with. Like they already hitting the ground running like it's fall camp. The O-line is doing for them to be pretty much a new unit. They're looking pretty solid. As a unit, not many mistakes. Mistakes here and there, but not too much. Right? It's the second practice of spring ball, so it's not expecting.
Oh, it's only second practice.
Yeah, second practice. So so they had one, then they went on spring break, and they came back, and then it's their first one they had back. But they do like an OTA thing too. So on the days off, they have an OTA walkthrough type of day. But yeah, and then I think obviously the running back stood out a lot. The running game, there's a lot of really good receivers. They brought in a lot of good receivers. The transfer guys who come in. I think the guy from FIU. I think.
He looked good out there.
He's a guy.
Quick. What's stand out to him for him?
He's a route runner. Man. The routes are solid. I mean,
that's what I saw.
He's routing guys up.
There you go.
He's going to be an excellent slot. Obviously, Faison, he's in practicing, but he's going to be a great guy. Great House looked really good today. Jaden Thomas looked really good today. Was it the young kid's name is I think his name number 11. I'm not exactly sure. He's a receiver. He's a receiver. So he's I think he redshirted last year. I think he was a little banged up, but number 11, he's twitchy. He's very twitchy. He's got that kind of that Will Fuller fast quickness, where he doesn't really know.
Speed too?
Yeah, he doesn't really know he's fast yet. He hasn't really unlocked it yet. It's he's fast, but you can see it in there, but it's not he ain't really, but it's there. Then on the defensive side, the DBs are looking really good.
That's good.
Solid. They're.
I feel like our defense is always going to be as good as our secondary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like we have a good secondary. Not to say that we play top down, right? But I feel like the defensive line at Notre Dame is similar to the offensive line. We always going to have good D linemen.
Yeah, exactly.
But our defense, like I said, we're going to be as good as our secondary is going to be. So as long as we got some guys to replace. Was Xavier Watts? He's out. Cam Hart, he's out. So that's good.
Xavier's is actually back, so we still got Xavier.
Watts come back?
Yeah, he came back, so he'll be back for his 5th year. Yeah, which is really surprising. It's crazy. Yeah, so he good.
We good.
And then the corners are solid. Obviously, BMO, he's first rounder, man. He's that guy. And then as far as the D line linebackers, they're pretty experienced. And in some places they're still learning. In other places, today just regular day, don't really get to see a lot from a defense when it's not pads on. So it's you just kind of see them. They're just more of a mental day, see them reacting to stuff, and not really seeing them make a lot of plays because they can't really do nothing without pads on. But that being said, man, it was a great day of practice. the guys getting after it,
That's good.
competing really hard. Love watching spring ball because it's like everybody's getting a shot to get out there and play and
Right.
make the best out of the opportunity. So it's gonna be fun, man. Going forward, seeing what happens. I did will say this: the quarterback situation. I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to it.
Yeah.
Um,
I said,
um,
that's what people want to know
I know, yeah,
about.
I'm not even gonna mention it because I really wasn't paying much attention to it.
Yeah.
Riley was taking reps, and I'm not gonna go get into it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
all the quarterbacks are looking pretty
I
good.
say just stay tuned for the show. Just stay tuned
Yeah,
for the show.
yeah. All the quarterbacks are looking pretty good.
That's good.
Let's
Good.
leave it at that.
Now, from your observations though, like how did the camaraderie like look like from the offense, defense, and like just the group in like in its entirety? Because I know you were there for practice, but didn't you also like speak to the team too?
Yeah, so we did like a former players panel.
That's what
I
I
think it
thought.
was yesterday, and so we had about 20 guys from the team there. Um, so the camaraderie it's like, I mean, obviously I'm from the outside looking in. I can't really tell
Mhm.
everything, but
Of course.
from what I'm seeing, like guys are hanging out around the facility,
That's good.
in the locker room, upstairs, chilling with the coaches, watching film.
That's good.
Um, I know that's a big change from when I was there. When we were there, it was there really wasn't that interaction between the coaches and the players as much.
Right.
And now you're really seeing that. Coach Freeman, you walk upstairs, his office door is wide open.
Yeah.
You can just walk in and talk to him if he's free. All the coaches are, you could just walk in and talk to him, have a conversation with them. That wasn't something we did when we was there. It was,
You
you
already
had to
had the
go
benefit.
upstairs and see the
Yeah.
coaches. You probably in trouble for something. You
Yeah.
probably not doing something right. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's definitely a change of pace, and it's good to see. But as far as the camaraderie, I mean, this is where they build it at right now. This time
Yeah.
of year,
Yeah.
springtime is when it really kind of comes together. So you will start seeing those relationships kind of build more and more. Especially in like the quarterback receiver relationships and tight ends
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So we'll start seeing that just keep getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, yeah, and that's super
And
important. But yo, let's
yeah,
get
yeah,
into
well,
get into some of this drama that's been going on in college football, right? So,
oh yeah,
Notre Dame, they have ties to the ACC, and what we've been seeing are these super conferences getting built and
hmm,
whatnot. But what's been going on is we saw, a couple months ago, Florida State sued the ACC, and just recently
right,
Clemson sued the ACC, and what they want to do is basically leave the conference, but they want to leave the conference without having to pay the exit fee. Exit fee crazy. They're talking about like 150 million just to leave the
man.
conference. But it makes sense when you really think about it. So I don't know if you knew it, but like, last year randomly, I think it was at Cal, Stanford. Who was the other school? It was another school. Yeah, Cal, Stanford, and some other school, I think from the Pac-12. They just randomly joined the ACC, but that was
Yeah.
because they needed to fulfill their 15 team minimum or something like that, right?
Mm,
So
right.
they grabbed those three schools. Like I said, I can't remember what the last. Oh, it was SMU, Stanford, SMU, and Cal. They grabbed those three schools to fulfill the 15, but now you got FSU and Clemson trying to leave. What that'll do is give ESPN the ability to basically just cancel their contract with the ACC. So that's why
Wow.
this is all happening. Like if we don't,
Yeah.
if ACC don't have 15, then ESPN could just cancel it, and then the ACC, I guess, lose everything. I mean, don't quote me, but like I'm pretty sure, from my business acumen, that's what will go down if Clemson
Right.
lets you leave. So they like, yeah, we gonna fight you in court. We're gonna take you to court. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is messy. This is real messy.
Man, that's crazy. That's when you start getting deep like that, man, it's like, man, it's bigger than football at that point. It's like,
Yeah, right, right. They
obviously
all about the money.
the powers
But
that
with
be are
Notre
definitely
Dame,
about
so
the
Notre
money.
Dame's Notre
Mm,
Dame's like, as we know, they independent. And
right.
what was the whole deal with, because how the CFP's involved, CFP, ESPN, they have a contract in themselves too,
Hmm.
right? So they're paying all of these schools individually. Let me read you the numbers. Right. So the Big Ten and the SEC schools, they receiving larger portions. They receive 29% of the 1.3 billion annual payout. Whereas the ACC schools and the Big 12 schools, they receive 17 and 14% respectively. So that's obviously like a decrease. And then Notre Dame, remember, they're tied to like the ACC, But
Right.
because they're still independent, they're not really a part of the ACC. They really
Hmm.
they receive an even smaller sum, which is like I think it's like 12 million or something like that. But
Yeah.
they're a team that is incentivized. So if they actually reach the college football playoffs, then that 12 goes to 18 million.
Hmm.
But my question is, do you think Notre Dame will eventually like join the conference to maybe settle some of these issues that the ACC is having, or you think they're just going to stay independent?
Uh, Honestly, I mean, I just knowing Notre Dame, once I think, they just once they see situations get messy, they
Mhm.
seem they tend to distance themselves
Yeah.
from from that. And I mean, I think that's probably going to be what happens in the future as well.
Mhm.
I don't really see us joining the conference. I know the rules with the college football playoff, but if we end up with
Mhm.
only two conferences, they're gonna have to change the rules for that too. So it's like,
Right.
um, as far as Notre Dame, I think it's for us, we just we stick on what we've been sticking to. We
Yeah.
had the ACC ties, but if that's about to fall apart, then we go back to being independent. Because
Mhm.
I think we only did the ACC ties was for the bowl games. I think the bowl game, I know it was bowl games was a big part of it. I know the
Mhm.
other things too, but for as far as
Oh
football, it's
yeah, it's
like
like
for the
to
bowl
get certain
ties,
matchups and stuff.
right? And now it's like it doesn't even matter because it's a 12 team playoff. So it's like
Mhm.
all those bowl ties to the ACC don't even matter anymore.
Yeah. Honestly, because I felt like money was never really a problem with Notre Dame, I feel like they
Right.
were just trying to do it just to dip themselves into different markets, right? Like they know the
Hmm.
ACC kind of cover like the whole coast. They have
Right.
fan bases all over the place. And we always got Stanford and USC, so we always gonna go
Right.
out, out west with those two matchups. But CJ, Notre Dame, I don't know if you know this, but Notre Dame's contract with NBC is one through 2029, so they good through 2029.
Right.
And on top of that, it pays them 50 million a year.
Yeah, they not worried
So,
about it. They like,
so,
why would we join a conference and y'all can
so
try to
what?
take our TV contract? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like we good with NBC. We getting 50. We getting 50 million per year on top of the 12 that we would get just for being associated with the ACC. And then if we get to the CFP, we get 18 million. And again, that's
Hmm.
on top of the 50 million that we get from NBC. So I'm like, I think Notre Dame's good. I don't think they really have a reason, honestly, to leave or I mean, my fault to actually join the conference, officially. It'd probably be, on the ACC would probably want Notre Dame to join, but no, Notre Dame's good. Like we chilling,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think like you said, we good. We didn't kind of we already. I mean, we've been good. We've had NBC for forever, and I'm honestly like we bring more value to a conference than a conference brings to us. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, what's the point of even joining
Are we
one? I
independent?
mean, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Man.
Now, but do you think? All right, so like we kind of touched on it. Now, if Clemson, because now UNC is also involved in this too. They want to leave, so that's really three schools that's looking to leave the
Hmm.
ACC. You think ACC will be able to make something shake, or you think the ACC just completely falls?
Uh, I mean, I guess they go and get the rest of those Pac-12 teams to try to,
Yeah, right. That'd
you
be in
know,
their best interest.
yeah. I mean, I guess that would be their next move. But like, because right now, I mean, it's still Pac-12, whatever, and it was like
Pac
what,
two.
three
I think they
teams
got like
left,
a Pac
Pac
two.
Pac-2 or Pac-3. So it's like, I
Yeah.
guess you try to get those teams to keep the ACC going. But I mean, the way it's
Right.
looking right now, because I mean, especially with the playoff now, it's like for football, the conferences don't even really. I mean, I know you need to be like you get if you win your conference, you get a whatever the
Mhm.
first round bye now. But
Right.
if you get rid of one more conference, that's going to be gone. So it's
Yeah,
going to be
like
the time.
conference games ain't really a thing
It's not
anymore.
going to
Like
matter anymore.
my
Yeah.
thought on it was like, all right, Notre Dame's road it will technically be tougher, right? Like would have to the only way I see it being tougher is that the quality of opponents that we'd have to face while we're in the playoffs might be tough. But you
Hmm.
can't tell me that I guess we're gonna have to just play extra games because technically these other schools have to play conference championships, right? So like the best
Right.
schools are gonna have to play the conference championships. That's an extra game. Notre Dame doesn't have a
Exactly.
conference championship, so that's one less game.
We
Now,
already
granted,
based
we
on
don't
that.
get the bye. We don't get the bye, but we're still playing really the same amount of games, and the quality of that opponent in the champion in that conference championship game will probably be equal or maybe even better than the opponent we'll face in the first round. So it's like
Right.
I don't see too many reasons why Notre Dame like that. I feel like there's no incentive for us to really join a conference. I think we're really good where we're at. It's a unique situation, but I think we're good where we're at. I think we'll be fine. I honestly
Yeah,
think we'll be fine.
yeah. Because I think I had touched on it a couple weeks ago. Like, we had talked about this. Like, even if we could get a bye, we would
Mhm.
end up having 2 weeks off because we
Yeah,
already don't have a conference, and then
right. And do we
we would
even
have
want
that,
that? Is that
and
what
then
you
we
was getting
definitely
at?
don't want that. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
you definitely don't want that. Like, especially that late in the season. I mean, it's not NFL where you can go be gone for 2 weeks and come back and guys are just hit the ground running. Like, no,
right.
you want to make sure these college kids are locked in and not just out doing whatever. So
Hmm.
um, just have a week off is cool, and then you go back to the next week and we playing.
Right,
I think that's just fine. I mean, who, at the end of the day, you still gonna have to go through the hardest teams to win the championship. It's not like even if you got a bye, you still gonna have to play somebody good that when you play them. So it's like you
right.
got to beat the best teams to win. So that's what you're gonna have to take that road either way. So
Yeah,
might as well just take the hard road, and because
yeah.
there's really no easy road in it. It just gets harder from every game. The first game
Hmm.
gonna be the easiest one, and then from there it's gonna get harder and harder. So um,
Facts.
so it's like there's no point for us. We just
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
doing what we doing, get into the playoff, and then go from there.
Hmm. All right, for
Mhm.
now, like more bigger picture, because I mean, if like as weird as things are getting, it looks like we're headed to just like two super conferences, right? Like
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't know. I wanted to pick your brain with this. I don't know if they would go like would they go like East and West? Would they go like I almost thought
Yeah.
wouldn't it be kind of tough if they went North and South?
I
Don't
think
you
it'd be
think
North and
there's
South
like
together.
equally you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like
Hmm.
there'd be equally as enough like good schools in the top and you in the north rather, and then equally as many good teams in the south to make it even. You don't think so?
I guess, but then it's like, how do you divide Cali? I guess you divide Cali in half. Like, is it like half of Cali and
Uh
above, Bay and up is like Northern Cali, and like you got
yeah,
LA and
right.
then you feel me? Like,
It's like what would they how many schools would they have up there anyway
well, I
though?
guess it would be. I mean, it would
Like
be like
where's
Oregon,
Fresno? Is Fresno?
like Fresno's
Oh,
like
Cal.
second. It's like it was like Cal, probably like Stanford, who
There
Oregon,
you go.
Oregon State,
I don't know. They might have to
Washington,
declare like a line of longitude or something like that.
right,
That declare the schools.
right across the middle.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like nah, but I tell you what, if it eventually comes to that, because then my thought is too, like, all right, because right now we have the Power Five schools, and then you have like the
Hmm.
Group of Five schools, kind of like with the, like the MAC schools, right? Like
Right.
the what was it the AAC schools? So I don't know
Hmm.
how that works because this is a lot. It's different from the NFL. It's not 32
Right.
teams. So
Yeah.
we talk about what almost like 100 some schools. So it's like I don't know how the two conferences will work. If it does come to that, do you think they can do well? You know what? I don't know. Then I
It
feel
would.
like
I
this
mean,
won't be fair to like the small schools. 'Cause I'm like maybe it's like how we've already kind of divided into Power Five and Group of Five.
right.
You do it that way, and then like there's a North and a South of the Group of Five, and there's a North and South of the Power Five. Maybe I don't know, but then I feel like that's not fair to the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. It's tough because it's like, do you kind of make it like divisions where it's like the NFL, or is it
Right.
just do you like you said, is it just a group of Power Five? Yeah, that's tough. Definitely a tough argument.
Mhm.
And I think the two super conferences make things really kind of tricky,
Yeah.
um, just because it's like who's playing who. Where's the crossover going to be? Um,
Yeah.
how many teams are like? I mean, like how many teams? If we got like 30 teams in each
So
conference,
many
like
teams.
you
Well,
know,
my thing is, I just hope we don't lose sight of like the rivalries and stuff, or like
yeah,
lose like that part of college football that we all love. Because I
right,
don't know, I just feel like teams schedules are going to be looking so different now. Like the
hmm,
schedules are going to be looking weird. I mean, it's gonna amount to good football. Don't get me wrong, but we just gonna have to get used to just different matchups now. Like we're gonna have to get used to Oklahoma playing Alabama all the time, Texas playing Alabama like in SEC games. Like
right.
that's gonna be weird. That's gonna be weird to see. But like I
I
said, it's
mean,
gonna be good
like
football.
a SMU versus Clemson is going to be like what?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's gonna
just
be
a
weird. It's
rest
like
of
this is a bowl game. Wait, no, this is
yeah,
actually a regular
it's a
season game.
regular ACC game. Like what? Yeah,
Right.
so that's definitely
But
going to
but
be
but all in all,
interesting.
all in all, Notre Dame gonna be fine. Notre Dame gonna be fine. Whether we play like a because we play a lot of Big Ten schools too. Honestly, like
Yeah.
in years past. So I mean, I think Notre Dame's they're gonna keep it. I think we're always gonna be playing schools from all over the country.
Hmm.
So I don't think we'll ever pigeonhole ourselves in regards to like matchups and stuff. As far as these media rights deals, I think we stand independent. I don't see Notre Dame join the conference. I don't know if you got any final thoughts on that, but I think Notre
No,
Dame
yeah, I
gonna
think
stay independent.
yeah, I think even going forward, even if we get to 2029 and NBC is like, wary, but even though they probably will re-sign before that,
Yeah,
but
because what
I don't
reason
think
would
we'll
NBC have to walk away? I mean, it's just like
exactly
the Notre Dame fan base ain't gonna change. The Notre Dame
yeah,
culture isn't gonna change. So it's just like I don't see why they would.
right,
Uh,
right,
I don't know,
absolutely,
man.
man.
We gonna have to see. We
Interesting
gonna have
time in
to see.
college football, man. We got
Very interesting
we
time.
got players getting
Very
paid. We got people leaving conferences. We got the transfer portal. Man,
right.
it's the wild,
We got
west.
schools trying to hop in the transfer portal now.
Yeah.
The whole school trying to hop in the transfer portal.
Like
It's crazy.
we out of here. We trying to get to the SEC, I guess.
Right, right.
Man.
Crazy. But yeah, man.
But yeah. Yep.
I think that's all we got for y'all, man.
That's we out of here, man. We got another week. Lucky Underdogs podcast. We appreciate y'all for dropping in, just hanging out with us for a couple minutes. However you catch your podcast, that's the Believe Network, Valley Sports, Apple Music, Spotify. However you catch your podcast, we appreciate you dropping in and checking out the Lucky Underdog podcast. It's your boy
Awesome.
CJ.
And this is Corey, and we signing out. We'll holla at
We
y'all
out of
next
here.
week.